settlers left the religious oppression of another land to build this one. And the first thing they did was to put laws on the shores of the Atlantic. When it was more than laws, it was a symbol that in this land, a citizen has the freedom to worship as he or she desires.
I apologize, that's not going to work.
We have an interpreter. If somebody could read subtitles and interpret.
Okay. Okay, testing one, two, testing 1, 2. You'll have to see the DVD to catch that clip.
Is it in English?
It is in English.
Good. Is it a relatively new movie?
It is. Okay. All right, the plan for 2014, the new approach is that we find candidates that we can support. Instead of just taking the candidates that are given to us, we find candidates that we can support. And there are 4 tiers that I consider about candidates. If a candidate comes out of a Liberty group, and somebody's been working in the Liberty group, I have a high degree of confidence that that candidate, when they are elected, will perform honorably and be a public servant instead of a public official. Second type of candidate is one, alongside with that, are candidates that we've elected who have spoken conservatively and also voted conservatively. Those are the candidates that we want to keep in office. The ones that have demonstrated that they will do the things that they said they would. The second tier are those candidates that convince us that they are conservative. There's a caveat with those. If they convince us they're conservative to get our vote, but then find out that they're not, we have an obligation to vote them out of office. What kind of candidates do we want? Well, I think conservative, common citizens are the type of candidates that we want, because those are the ones that originally went into office in our country, and the average turnaround in the House of Representatives back in the 1800s, I don't think they averaged serving 2 terms. There was a lot of turnover because it was average citizens who got elected to office. They went and served, then they came back to whatever it is they were doing. They weren't necessarily lifetime politicians. We support these candidates that we've identified that we can support. Get those candidates elected, they represent us, not the party. And that's the key difference. When they represent us and they fear us, they will respond to us. If they're of the party and fear the party, then they will vote according to the party. And again, if they don't represent us, we find out that that wasn't a true position, then it's our obligation to vote them out. Thomas Jefferson attributed to the quote, "When government fears the people, there's liberty. When people fear the government, there is tyranny." Those are the 2 choices. Briefly, to review our 4-fold purpose, how does our purpose as an organization fit into all this? It's to educate our fellow citizens. We talked about the worldviews tonight, the foundational principles of our country, We want to be involved in our self-governance. We can no longer just stand by and let others run our government for us. We need to be involved. We need to defend and promote the rights and liberties given to us by our Creator. And there is no exclusion of those rights and liberties given to us by our Creator from the public arena. That's the secular worldview, that you can't have any Christian influence in the public arena. That's not what our country was founded on. And this may be perhaps most challenging of all, to reverse the fundamental transformation of our country, because it's very far along. How do we do this? We talked about the 5 B's back in September. We need to be praying. Definitely. We need to be educated. We need to learn about how the process works. We need to learn about how our country was originally founded. We need to then be informed about what's going on with our elected officials, hopefully our public servants, and the kind of issues that are before them. We need to be involved with it. We need to call them, as many of you have. We need to step out and perhaps run for office as we have opportunity to be involved, and we need to be bold when we do it. We know what the truth is. We need to be bold and speak the truth. So what candidates are up this year? Congress, 14th District. Dave Joyce is running for re-election. And I don't know if you've gotten my emails. I have stated that if there is no conservative challenger to Congressman Joyce, that I will run. Not because I want to, not because I'm a politician. I'm a concerned citizen. And I think that all of us deserve a choice on the ballot instead of just the one person that the party puts forth. There's a race for governor of Ohio. Some would have you to believe that Governor Kasich is a conservative, a full-fledged conservative, and needs to be reelected. That's not my position, and there are 2 folks that are willing to run on the Republican ticket in the primary. Don Allen, who's a very conservative gentleman from Youngstown, and Kelly Coles, who is a lady from the Dayton area, a former head of their school board. That school board did something really interesting. They did 2 things that you can't do in combination. They reduced their expenses and improved their performance at the same time. I always thought you had to have more money to improve performance. At least I've heard that somewhere. But anyway, we have petitions in the back. Don Allen needs to get 1,000 valid signatures by February 5th in order to have his name on the ballot. And so there's petitions in the back. State Rep, 60th District. That's the East Lake, Willowick, Wickliffe, Timberlake area. And beyond, a little bit beyond that, there's State Rep John Rogers is the current occupant or incumbent of that district. State Rep for 61st District, we've got a good one there, Ron Young, and we should keep him there because he has voted the way that that we would like for him to conservatively. The other office, State Senator for the 25th District, that's the same part of Lake County that is also the 60th District, East Lake, Willowick, Wickliffe, that area. The current incumbent there is Nina Turner, and she is termed out and will not be running again. We have County Commission.